Hello, and welcome to Deep Space Sleep. I'm glad you're here, settling into a quiet moment for yourself. Long before cities and noise, the moon was already moving in its slow, steady path above every life on Earth. It has changed almost nothing across billions of years, remaining a gentle, patient presence that glows softly enough to calm anyone who looks up. In this space, we rest inside that calm and let the moon's quiet rhythm meet our own. The moon is more than a distant light. It is a silent world with no wind, no sound, and almost no change. Footprints last for millions of years. Shadows stay frozen. Light spreads across its surface in smooth, silver sheets. This deep stillness reaches us through the soft pull of tides, shaping rhythms in nature and subtle patterns in human sleep. For thousands of years, people have looked to the moon not just to measure time, but to feel it, to sense the slow passing of nights, seasons, and life itself. There is comfort in knowing its glow has touched every generation before us. Imagine the cool dust underfoot, the silent horizon, the soft curve of light sliding across ancient craters. Let that image ease your thoughts, slow your breathing, and create the space you need to rest. As we explore 100 calming facts, we'll wander through the moon's quiet landscapes, drift over its shadowed plains, and rest in the soft light that has guided travelers, poets, and dreamers for ages. Nothing here will hurry you. Each fact is a small doorway into stillness. Before we begin, feel free to share where you're listening from and what time it is. It helps build a gentle sense of connection beneath the same sky. For now, let your breath slow. Let your shoulders soften, and let the quiet glow of the moon guide you gently inward. Let's begin. The moon is a completely silent world, holding a stillness deeper than anything we can experience on Earth, because there is no air. Sound has no way to travel, leaving every movement swallowed in perfect quiet. If someone stood next to you on the moon and struck two rocks together, you would see the motion, but hear nothing at all. This silence feels soft rather than empty, like a gentle pause stretching across an entire world, with no wind, no rustling, and no echo. The surface becomes a place where calm settles like dust. In that stillness, even the smallest action becomes slow and deliberate, as if time itself is wrapped in a layer of softness. The moon's silence feels ancient, steady, and comforting, a reminder that calm can exist even in the vastness of space. The dust covering the moon is incredibly fine, almost like powdered chalk created over billions of years by meteor impacts, breaking rock into tiny, sharp-edged grains. Although each particle is jagged, together they behave like soft powder, drifting lightly with every disturbance. When astronauts walked on the surface, the dust clung to their suits and boots with surprising ease, coating everything in a grey film, without wind or rain to move it. The dust stays exactly where it falls, softening the landscape and smoothing the edges of craters and hills. It makes the moon's surface look gentle from a distance, like a world covered in quiet ash. Standing there would feel like walking on a place frozen in time, where every footprint and motion sinks into a calm, undisturbed powder that will remain for ages. The sky seen from the moon is a deep, perfect black, remaining unchanged whether the surface is illuminated by bright sunlight or resting in darkness, because there is no atmosphere to scatter light. The sky never turns blue, never fades into twilight colors, and never hides the stars. Even when the sun stands high above the horizon, the stars stay visible, hanging silently in the unmoving dark. This contrast between the glowing surface and the infinite black above creates a peaceful, dreamlike stillness. It feels as if the universe is opening just for you, offering a view that is both vast and strangely comforting. The absence of atmospheric haze makes every detail sharper, cleaner, and more serene, turning the sky into a quiet window onto the cosmos. The footprints left by astronauts remain perfectly preserved on the moon, unchanged by weather or time, without wind to sweep them away, without rain to erode them, and without flowing water to reshape the ground. Every impression stays exactly as it was made. These footprints could last for millions of years, capturing a moment frozen in absolute stillness. Each mark pressed into the dust becomes part of a quiet, unmoving record of human presence in a place where nothing naturally shifts. If you could visit the same spot centuries from now, the tracks would look untouched, like a memory the moon decided to keep. This permanence feels peaceful, almost tender, as if the surface itself is holding those moments with gentle care. In a world defined by silence, these footprints become a soft reminder that even brief steps can leave long, calm traces. The moon's surface warms and cools with remarkable slowness because there is no air to transfer heat quickly. When sunlight touches the ground, the warmth spreads grain by grain, sinking gradually into the dust. It takes hours for temperatures to rise, creating a long, steady shift rather than a sudden jump. When darkness returns, the stored heat fades just as slowly, slipping back into the surface in a calm, unhurried way. This slow thermal rhythm gives the moon a sense of deep patience, as if it moves through day and night with a gentle, measured breath, without winds, clouds, or quick changes. Each temperature cycle becomes a quiet transition, reflecting the stillness that defines the entire lunar world. It's a place where even heat respects the silence, moving softly and steadily across the surface. A single night on the moon lasts as long as 14 days on Earth, creating a long stretch of darkness that feels almost endless, with no atmosphere to scatter sunlight. Once the sun sets below the horizon, everything falls into deep, unmoving shadow. Temperatures drop very slowly at first, then continue sinking until the surface becomes colder than anywhere on Earth. This long lunar night creates a rhythm completely different from our own cycle of day and night. Time feels stretched, elongated, as if the world has entered a long, slow breath. For 2 Earth weeks, the landscape remains dim, silent, and completely still, waiting patiently for the distant sunrise to return. This extended darkness shapes the moon's calm personality, a world where nothing rushes and every change unfolds in slow, measured steps. Sunlight that falls on the moon does not shimmer or flicker the way it does on Earth. Without an atmosphere to bend, scatter, or soften the rays, the light arrives as a pure, direct beam that casts sharp shadows and bright highlights. There is no shimmering haze, no golden glow, and no soft gradients. Instead, sunlight behaves like a clean spotlight, illuminating surfaces with an almost serene harshness. The ground appears bright and chalky, while areas in shadow remain completely black. This contrast creates a quiet, uncluttered landscape with shapes defined in simple, peaceful lines. The absence of atmospheric effects removes all sparkle, leaving the moon bathed in a steady, unchanging glow that feels calm, controlled, and timeless. Astronauts have described the moon as having a faint smell, something unexpected in a place with no air. After their lunar walks, when they returned to the spacecraft and removed their helmets, the dust clinging to their suits released a scent into the cabin. They compared it to burned gunpowder or hot metal dry, sharp and slightly sweet. This smell comes from lunar dust reacting with oxygen for the first time in billions of years. Although the moon itself has no breeze to carry any scent, this strange aroma lingers in the memories of those who visited. It adds a quiet, intimate detail to an otherwise silent world, a reminder that even in a place without air, experiences can still leave impressions that feel surprisingly human and grounding. Because the moon has no wind, no atmosphere, and no flowing water, nothing erases marks left on its surface. Every footprint, every wheel track, every small indentation made by spacecraft remains exactly where it was created. The surface holds these impressions like soft memories pressed into flour, with no breeze to lift the dust and no storms to reshape the terrain. The marks sit quietly, unchanged for as long as millions of years. This stillness preserves each moment of human exploration with gentle permanence. The moon does not brush anything away. It does not reset itself. Instead, it keeps every mark in a peaceful, unmoving state, creating a world where time feels slowed, paused, and steady, allowing even brief actions to become long-lasting traces. The moon's extremely thin atmosphere, so thin it is almost non-existent, cannot hold warmth the way Earth's atmosphere does. During the day, sunlight heats the surface directly, warming only the top layer of dust. But when the sun sets, that heat escapes immediately into space, leaving the ground cold and exposed, without air to trap warmth. There is no soft transition, only a long, slow cooling that depends on the properties of the dust itself. This lack of insulation creates dramatic temperature shifts, but they occur quietly. Without weather or wind, the thin exosphere cannot spread warmth, cannot soften the cold, and cannot balance the heat. It simply allows the moon to follow its own slow rhythm, warming and cooling in gentle, unhurried cycles that reflect its deep and ancient stillness. Moonlight is not its own light, but sunlight reflected off the moon's surface, softened as it travels back to us. When sunlight strikes the lunar ground, much of it is absorbed, and what remains bounces outward in a gentle, diffused glow. This reflected light loses the sharpness and intensity of the original beam, turning into something calm and muted by the time it reaches Earth. Because the moon has no atmosphere to scatter light, the reflection is clean and steady, creating a soft wash of brightness across the night sky. This gentle glow has guided travelers, animals, and countless generations of humans, offering a quiet illumination that feels ancient and comforting. The light is neither harsh nor overwhelming. It drifts across landscapes like a thin veil, bright enough to see by yet soft enough to invite rest. Moonlight always feels gentler than sunlight because the moon's grey, dusty surface absorbs most of the brightness and reflects only a small portion back into space. Sunlight striking Earth comes through our atmosphere, scattering and intensifying in warm tones. But on the moon, the light is stripped of colour and softened by the dull texture of the lunar soil. By the time it reaches us, it has lost the glare and heat associated with daytime light. It becomes something cooler, quieter, and easier for the eyes to receive. This softened brightness settles across fields, oceans, and rooftops like a calm breath, bright enough to outline shapes but too gentle to disturb the night. As moonlight travels through Earth's atmosphere, it scatters in a way that creates a soft, mist-like effect around distant objects. The light loses its sharp edges and spreads into a delicate haze that makes the night feel more dreamlike. This scattering smooths out rough silhouettes and blends shadows into one another, creating a sense of depth wrapped in softness. Even on clear nights, the light appears slightly diffused, forming a quiet glow around trees, hills, and clouds. This effect is subtle but powerful, turning ordinary landscapes into calm, luminous scenes. The world seems quieter under this gentle illumination, as if wrapped in a thin layer of silver mist that encourages slower thoughts and deeper breathing. A bright, moonlit night allows human eyes to see farther than usual because moonlight enhances contrast without overwhelming the senses. The light is strong enough to reveal distant shapes and outlines, yet soft enough to avoid glare. Our eyes adjust smoothly, opening just wide enough to take in the muted brightness, while still remaining sensitive to shadow. As the landscape becomes clearer, depth and detail emerge in a calm, gradual way. Paths, trees, and distant horizons appear with surprising clarity, all without the intensity of artificial light. This natural illumination creates a quiet sense of orientation, allowing people and animals to move gently through the night. The world feels steady and expanded under this cool, silver glow. The moon casts exceptionally sharp shadows because it reflects sunlight without the scattering effect of an atmosphere. On Earth, air diffuse light, softening shadows and creating gentle gradients. But on the moon, the light arrives in pure, unbent beams, producing shadows with crisp, well-defined edges. When moonlight falls on Earth, some of that sharp quality remains, creating darker, cleaner shadows than those produced by artificial lights. These lunar shadows feel calm and precise, outlining shapes with simple clarity. They stretch softly across the ground, following the contours of trees, rocks, and buildings in elegant lines. The combination of soft brightness and sharp shadow adds a quiet beauty to moonlit landscapes, turning even familiar places into still, serene scenes. Moonlight carries almost no warmth when it reaches Earth. Even though it comes from the same sun that heats the daytime sky, the moon reflects only a small portion of the sunlight that touches its surface, and much of the heat is absorbed into its grey dust before any light escapes back into space. By the time moonlight travels the long distance to Earth, what remains is mostly gentle illumination without heat. You can stand in a clear moonbeam on a quiet night and feel no difference in temperature at all. This cool, touchless quality is part of what makes moonlit nights feel calm and soothing. The light brightens the world in soft tones without changing the air around you, creating a peaceful glow that invites rest and stillness. Even the faintest new moon, when only a thin fraction of its surface catches sunlight, contributes to the subtle background glow of the night sky. Although the crescent may look nearly invisible, the light it reflects still softens darkness in a quiet, gentle way. This illumination is delicate, barely enough to cast shadows, but it adds depth to the night, creating a soft separation between sky and land. The thin crescent acts like a whisper of brightness, a reminder that the moon is always present, even when most of it lies in shadow. This subtle background glow supports the calmness of nighttime landscapes, giving the world a faint, silvery foundation beneath even the darkest sky. The color of moonlight changes slightly depending on how the light passes through Earth's atmosphere. When the moon is high above, its light appears cool and almost white, untouched by thick layers of air. But when it sits low on the horizon, the light travels through more atmosphere, picking up warm tones that turn it pale, gold or soft orange. Dust, humidity, and temperature all shape these gentle shifts. These variations happen slowly, giving moonlit nights a quiet, evolving character. The light may begin silver, grow warmer as it nears the horizon, then return to a cooler shade as it rises again. This natural filtering adds a tranquil, almost breathing quality to the moon's glow. The moon appears brightest when it hangs close to the horizon because our eyes compare it to objects on Earth, making its glow feel larger and more intense. At this angle, the atmosphere also scatters the light differently, giving it a warm or amber tone that increases the impression of brightness. The combination of size illusion, atmospheric filtering, and contrast against the landscape creates a powerful visual effect that makes moonrise and moonset feel especially luminous. This heightened glow spreads gently across hills, buildings, and trees, forming long, soft shadows that move slowly as the moon climbs higher. The world feels momentarily transformed, wrapped in a quiet golden sheen before the light cools again. Moonlight helps many animals navigate by acting as a gentle guide across landscapes, oceans, and forests. Some species use the angle of the light to determine direction, while others rely on its brightness to find safe paths through the night. Sea turtles, insects, birds, and small mammals all respond to these subtle cues, adjusting their movement according to the moon's position. Because the light is soft and steady, it illuminates the environment without startling or overwhelming. This calm guidance supports nighttime behavior, offering just enough clarity for creatures to travel, forage, or return to their homes. Moonlit nights become part of the natural rhythm that directs life after sunset. Many of the moon's craters are billions of years old, created by ancient impacts during a time when the solar system was far more chaotic. On Earth, wind, rain, and shifting ground erase old marks. But on the moon, nothing smooths or reshapes the surface. Each crater remains almost exactly as it was formed, preserving the quiet memory of collisions that happened long before life began on our planet. Their circular rims sit still and sharp, untouched by erosion or weather. Walking across one would feel like stepping into a moment frozen in deep time, a landscape holding stories older than any human history. These craters give the moon its textured appearance, a silent archive carved into dust and stone, resting peacefully beneath an unchanging sky. Shadows inside deep lunar craters are completely black, forming pockets of darkness untouched by reflected light. Because the moon has no atmosphere to scatter brightness, sunlight cannot bend around edges or soften the dark. Once a crater's interior slips out of direct light, the darkness becomes absolute. These shadowed areas can sit untouched for billions of years, remaining colder than any place on Earth. The stillness within them feels profound, as if the darkness itself is ancient. Looking into such a shadow is like gazing into a quiet well of time, where nothing stirs and no detail reveals itself until light returns. These perfectly sharp, unmoving shadows add a sense of depth and calm mystery to the lunar landscape. Some regions of the moon have never seen sunlight, not even for a moment. These places lie in deep, permanently shadowed craters near the poles, where the angle of the sun is too low to illuminate their interiors. For billions of years, they have remained locked in continuous darkness, sealed away from warmth and light. Inside these hidden pockets, temperatures plunge to extremes, creating conditions colder than distant dwarf planets. Yet, this darkness preserves ancient materials, including frozen water and untouched dust. These regions feel like secret chambers within the moon, places where time has stopped completely. They remain silent, untouched, and perfectly still, offering a glimpse into environments that have never felt the touch of dawn. Moon rocks remain sharp and jagged because nothing on the lunar surface wears them down. Without wind to smooth their edges, without flowing water to round them, and without chemical processes to erode them, the rocks keep their crisp shapes for incredible lengths of time. Even a small stone might look freshly broken despite being billions of years old. This sharpness gives the landscape a clean, almost sculpted appearance, where every ridge and fragment stands out clearly in the unfiltered sunlight. Walking across such terrain would feel like moving through a world paused in mid-formation, each rock holding the exact shape it took when it fractured. The lack of erosion creates a stillness that feels almost unreal, a landscape suspended in perfect quiet. Across large areas of the moon are vast plains of dark basalt, smooth and silent, known as lunar seas. These plains were formed from ancient volcanic activity, where molten rock once spread across low regions and cooled slowly into dark, solid stone. Over time, the basalt settled into wide, gentle surfaces that reflect sunlight in soft, muted tones. From afar, they appear like deep grey oceans frozen in place, resting quietly beneath the black sky. These basalt seas give the moon much of its familiar face, forming the shapes we see from Earth. Their smoothness contrasts with the surrounding craters, creating calm stretches of terrain that feel like quiet plains in a world without weather. The stillness of these seas adds a soothing simplicity to the moon's ancient landscape. The line between light and darkness on the moon, known as the terminator, shifts extremely slowly because the lunar day is so long. As the sun rises over the moon's horizon, the light moves like a slow tide, taking many hours to illuminate each ridge and crater. Shadows stretch gradually, revealing details one soft outline at a time. The slow movement creates a gentle transition between brightness and darkness. Unlike Earth, where sunrise happens quickly because the moon rotates so slowly, the terminator becomes a quiet boundary that drifts across the landscape in a peaceful, unhurried motion. This gradual shift allows shapes, textures, and shadows to unfold in calm stages, giving the surface a meditative stillness. Watching the terminator move would feel like watching time stretch, with every moment becoming long, soft, and steady. The floors of some deep lunar craters are colder than Pluto because sunlight never reaches them. These permanently shadowed regions lie near the poles, where the sun stays low on the horizon and cannot shine into the steep crater walls. Without light, these areas lose heat continuously to space, becoming some of the coldest known places in the solar system. Temperatures can drop to astonishing lows, freezing any water vapor that drifts inside. The cold settles like a long, unbroken night that has lasted for billions of years. These frozen depths sit untouched and perfectly still, creating silent pockets of ancient material preserved in darkness. The extreme cold reflects the moon's unique environment, where the absence of atmosphere and sunlight creates a calm, deep stillness, unlike anywhere on Earth. Many large lunar craters display bright rays, long streaks of lighter material that stretch hundreds of kilometers from the point of impact. These rays were formed when the force of a collision blasted fresh subsurface material outward in all directions. Because the moon has no wind, rain, or erosion, these rays remain clear and sharp even after millions or billions of years. They fan out gracefully across the surface, creating patterns that look like quiet, frozen bursts of light. Their pale color contrasts with darker basalt plains, giving the moon its distinctive appearance when viewed from Earth. The rays appear almost painted onto the landscape, but they are ancient traces of violent events, now resting in absolute calm. Over time, micrometeorites gently darken them, yet the overall pattern remains beautifully visible. They are fragile-looking, but incredibly enduring reminders of the moon's long and silent history. Lunar dust clings to everything through static electricity, making it one of the most persistent materials astronauts encountered. Because the moon has no atmosphere, sunlight charges the dust grains directly, causing them to lift slightly or stick to nearby surfaces. When astronauts walked across the surface, the fine particles adhered to their boots, gloves, and even the joints of their suits. The dust behaves almost like dry ash, but with a sharper, more reactive texture. It clings stubbornly, refusing to fall away even when brushed. This static attraction gives the moon's surface a soft, shifting quality, as if the dust has its own quiet energy. In the gentle light, the particles sparkle faintly, catching sunlight without ever glowing. The dust's persistent cling reveals the moon's unusual environment, where silence and dryness create a world where even tiny grains hold tight to everything they touch. The moon's landscape changes so slowly that it appears almost frozen in time, without wind to sculpt the surface, without rain to wash away debris, and without flowing water to carve new paths. The terrain remains nearly identical across millions of years. Craters stay sharp, rocks stay fractured, and dust lies exactly where it settles. Only micrometeorites, tiny fragments drifting through space, gradually soften some features. But the process is incredibly slow. A scene viewed by an astronaut today would look almost the same long after future generations have come and gone. This stillness gives the moon its unique character, a world where time moves gently, quietly, and almost imperceptibly. The lack of change creates a peaceful sense of permanence, as if the landscape holds every moment in a calm, unbroken embrace. The moon is believed to have formed from a colossal impact between the early Earth and a Mars-sized object billions of years ago. This giant collision released unimaginable heat and energy, sending vaporized rock and molten material into orbit. Over time, that glowing debris slowly gathered together, cooling and settling into the sphere we now see drifting silently through the sky. Even though the event itself was unimaginably violent, its aftermath created something calm and enduring. The moon became a steady companion, circling the Earth in a gentle rhythm that has remained almost unchanged across the ages. In its quiet presence, the memory of that ancient impact feels distant, softened by time. What began as chaos eventually shaped a world defined by stillness, a reminder that even the most turbulent beginnings can lead to a long and peaceful existence hovering above us like a silent witness to Earth's history. In its earliest days, the moon's crust glowed with intense heat, forming a vast ocean of molten rock that covered its entire surface. This lunar magma ocean shimmered like a glowing sea under the newborn sun, slowly cooling as minerals crystallized and sank into deeper layers. The surface hardened gradually, forming a crust that carried the memory of that fiery beginning without wind, rain, or plate movement. The marks of this ancient heat remain quietly preserved in the moon's rocks and minerals, though now cold, silent, and grey. The moon once radiated with bright, molten energy, a world in constant motion over billions of years. That heat faded into the quiet landscape we see today, leaving behind a calm shell that hides its intense past. The silence of the modern moon makes its fiery origins feel even more distant, like a dream long forgotten but still present in its ancient stones. The dark basalt plains on the moon, those wide, smooth regions we see as seas, are reminders of ancient magma that once welled up from beneath the surface. Long after the moon cooled, impacts cracked its crust, allowing molten rock to flow outward and fill low-lying areas. This lava spread slowly, covering the landscape in thick, dark sheets that hardened into basalt. Over time, these plains became some of the moon's most recognizable features, forming calm, level surfaces that contrast with the rugged highlands around them. Today they appear still and silent, but each one carries the memory of deep volcanic activity that once shaped the moon's face. Without erosion or weather to soften them, these basalt seas remain almost unchanged, preserving a quiet record of ancient geological movement. They are the frozen breath of the moon's volcanic past, lying peaceful under the light of the sun. When the moon first formed, it appeared much larger in Earth's sky because it was significantly closer than it is today. In those early ages, the moon drifted across the heavens as a massive glowing disk, rising and setting with a presence far more dramatic than anything we see now. Over billions of years, gravitational interactions have slowly pushed it farther away, increasing the distance little by little, in a motion too calm to feel. Even though the moon has moved outward, it carries the memory of that earlier closeness in the tides, its shapes and the rhythms it influences. Imagining its ancient size brings a sense of awe, a world that once loomed larger, brighter, and more immediate before settling into the gentle, familiar presence we know. Its slow retreat reflects the quiet passage of cosmic time, measured not in years but in the steady, peaceful widening of its orbit. In the distant past, the moon orbited much closer to Earth, creating tides far stronger and more dramatic than those we experience today. The gravitational pull between the two bodies was more intense, shaping the early oceans with powerful rhythms that may have influenced the development of life. As time passed, Earth's rotation slowed and the moon drifted outward, easing the strength of its influence. This gradual movement happened silently, with no sudden changes, just a steady widening of the space between the two worlds. Even now, the moon continues to move away at a very slow pace, almost imperceptible on human timescales. Its ancient closeness adds depth to its quiet presence, reminding us that the moon has not always been the calm, distant companion we see. It was once a dominant force in Earth's sky before settling into its peaceful orbit. In the distant past, a single day on Earth lasted only about 6 hours, meaning the planet once spun much faster than it does now. The early Earth rotated quickly after the giant impact that helped form the moon, carrying enormous energy in its motion. Over billions of years, the moon's gravitational pull acted like a gentle brake, slowing Earth's rotation little by little. Each tidal interaction transferred a small amount of energy from Earth to the moon, causing days to lengthen gradually. No moment felt sudden. The change happened in soft, steady increments that accumulated across deep time. Imagining a 6-hour day reveals just how dynamic the early Earth-Moon system once was. The calm, 24-hour rhythm we know today is the result of slow, patient adjustments shaped by the shared gravity of two worlds that continue influencing each other in a quiet, ongoing exchange. Tidal locking between Earth and the moon formed slowly, not in an instant. When the moon first formed, it rotated at a different speed than it orbited. Over time, Earth's gravity tugged on the moon's uneven mass, creating subtle tidal bulges that acted like brakes on its spin. With each orbit, those bulges shifted slightly, converting rotational energy into heat and slowing the moon's rotation bit by bit. This gradual process continued for millions of years until the moon's rotation matched its orbital period, causing one hemisphere to always face Earth. The transformation was gentle and steady, unfolding through countless cycles of gravity and motion. Today, the moon's stillness, its one familiar face, feels natural and constant. But it is the end result of a long, patient alignment shaped by quiet forces that operated in the background of cosmic time. The moon has been rotating more and more slowly as the ages pass, influenced by the same gravitational forces that shape the tides on Earth. Although the moon appears motionless to us, it once spun faster and showed different faces to the sky. Over time, tidal forces between Earth and the moon gently reduced its rotational speed, allowing it to settle into the synchronized state we see today. This slowdown continues even now, though at a pace far too subtle to detect without precise instruments. Each passing century brings only the smallest shift, a change measured in fractions of a second. This nearly imperceptible process reflects the quiet nature of the Earth-Moon relationship, two worlds interacting through gravity in slow, steady rhythms. The moon's gradual deceleration adds to its sense of stillness, making the sky feel calm, predictable, and deeply rooted in time. The idea of a dark side of the moon is a common misunderstanding. There is no side that remains forever dark. Instead, the moon experiences day and night just like Earth, with sunlight sweeping across its entire surface over the course of a lunar day. What people call the dark side is simply the far side, the hemisphere that always faces away from Earth due to tidal locking. This far side receives just as much sunlight as the near side. We simply never see it from our perspective. Because the far side points outward into space, it feels more mysterious. But it is not a place of permanent darkness. It is illuminated, shadowed, warmed, and cooled in the same slow, gentle rhythm as the side familiar to us, reminding us that the moon keeps turning even when we cannot watch. The surface of the moon is constantly bombarded by solar wind streams of charged particles flowing outward from the sun. Without a magnetic field or thick atmosphere to shield it, the lunar surface absorbs this steady rain of particles directly. Over billions of years, this gentle but continuous bombardment has altered the chemistry of the dust, darkened some regions, and left traces of implanted hydrogen and helium in the soil. Each particle arrives silently, carrying a tiny amount of energy that becomes part of the moon's surface. The process is subtle, happening grain by grain in a world without weather. Though invisible to the eye, the solar wind shapes the moon in slow, persistent ways, adding to its ancient, weatherless character. It becomes another quiet force, acting across deep time, contributing to the stillness and timelessness we associate with the lunar landscape. The lunar cycle has long been observed to subtly influence human sleep patterns, not through bright light alone, but through deeper rhythms that mirror our internal timing. Studies suggest that during certain phases of the moon, especially near the full moon, people may fall asleep a little more slowly or experience slightly lighter rest. Even when they never see the moon itself, this effect appears gentle and indirect, as if the body is responding to an ancient rhythm woven into the environment. The moon's predictable cycle has been part of life on Earth since its beginning, shaping the nights of early humans who lived by natural light. Today, even in modern rooms, something quiet within us still recognizes the pattern. The changes are soft, subtle enough to go unnoticed without careful observation. Yet they create a faint connection between our internal rhythms and the steady turning of the moon above us. Night after night, many marine animals rely on the moon's cycle to guide their activities, using its light and gravitational influence to time behaviors such as feeding, migration, and spawning. Some species synchronize their life events with the full moon, while others respond to the gentle dimming of the new moon. The lunar rhythm provides a dependable signal in the vast, shifting ocean, allowing creatures to coordinate with remarkable precision. When moonlight glows across the water, some animals rise to the surface, while others hide in deeper layers. When darkness returns, the balance shifts again. This connection to the moon is ancient, shaped by millions of years of evolution. Even in the quiet depths, where light barely reaches, the gravitational pull still offers a subtle cue. The ocean becomes a living calendar, breathing in time with the moon's changing phases. Tides move in a slow, steady rhythm that mirrors the moon's position as it circles Earth. The gravitational pull lifts the oceans gently, drawing them toward the point closest to the moon, while also raising a second swell on the opposite side of the planet. This creates the familiar pattern of rising and falling water we see along coastlines. The tides feel like a quiet form of breathing, expanding and retreating in cycles that never break. These movements shape the lives of countless coastal species, guide the movement of nutrients, and influence human activities in calm, predictable ways. The moon's presence turns the ocean into a giant, gently pulsing system, responding with perfect regularity, even during the darkest nights. The water continues its slow rise and fall, following the moon's path with patient precision. Ancient agriculture depended deeply on the moon's cycle, using its phases to guide planting, harvesting, and irrigation. Farmers observed how different stages of the lunar month seemed to influence soil moisture, seed germination, and plant growth. Crops were often planted under waxing light to encourage upward growth, or under waning phases to support root development. These traditions created a rhythm of work that aligned with the natural world, combining observation, belief, and practical timing. The moon acted as a quiet calendar in the sky, marking the passage of weeks long before mechanical clocks existed. Even today, some farmers and gardeners still follow these old patterns, finding comfort in the steady, predictable cycle. The moon's phases become a gentle reminder that nature moves in repeating tides, encouraging humans to slow their pace and listen to ancient rhythms. A full moon occurs only when the moon stands directly opposite the sun from our point of view, allowing its entire near side to be illuminated. This alignment happens roughly once a month, creating the bright, rounded disk that feels calm and familiar in the night sky. The moon reflects sunlight fully during this phase, showing every soft detail of its surface in clear, silver light. The full moon does not shine because it grows brighter on its own, but because sunlight touches it in the most complete way. The alignment is gentle and predictable, part of a cycle that has repeated for billions of years. When the moon reaches this point, night landscapes soften, shadows become quieter, and a sense of openness settles across the world. It is the simplest and most peaceful moment in the lunar cycle, created by the steady geometry of three celestial bodies moving in quiet harmony. Eclipses occur only during moments of perfect alignment, when the sun, earth, and moon line up in a straight path that rarely happens with exact precision. A solar eclipse appears when the moon passes directly between Earth and the sun, casting a delicate shadow that briefly quiets daylight. A lunar eclipse occurs when Earth drifts between the sun and the moon, allowing our planet's shadow to fall gently across the lunar surface. These alignments unfold slowly, with the darkening and lightening happening in soft stages that feel almost like the sky itself is breathing. Because the moon's orbit tilts slightly, most months pass without any alignment at all, making each eclipse a calm, infrequent event. Their rarity adds to the sense of quiet anticipation people have felt for thousands of years, watching the sky shift in a way that reminds us of the steady, celestial choreography happening far above us. For most of human history, moonlight was the only guide through the darkness, shaping how people traveled, hunted, worked, and rested at night. Without artificial lights, communities relied on the gentle brightness of the moon to move safely across open fields, forests, and shorelines. The glow was soft but steady enough to reveal paths, reflections, and silhouettes, allowing night activities to continue with a quiet sense of awareness. Full moon nights offered wider visibility, so journeys were often planned around them, while darker phase meant slower, more cautious movement. This connection created a natural rhythm between human life and lunar light, with people adjusting their evenings to the sky above. Even now, when bright lights surround us, something in the moonlit landscape still feels grounding, as if echoing a time when the world moved gently under a single glowing guide. Humans have long associated the moon's phases with emotion, seeing in its changing shape a quiet mirror of internal cycles. Across cultures, people noticed how moods, energy, and reflection seemed to shift subtly with the waxing and waning light. The growing moon was linked to renewal, the full moon to clarity, and the fading moon to rest and introspection. These ideas formed naturally, shaped by the soft presence of a celestial body that changed predictably in the sky. Even today, many people feel a quiet connection to certain phases without fully understanding why, as if something within responds to the familiar rhythm overhead. This emotional link does not need explanation. It simply exists, woven into thousands of years of watching the moon rise, brighten, fade, and return again. The slow cycle has become a gentle companion to human experience, offering calm continuity through every generation. Each lunar cycle lasts about 29.5 days, marking the time it takes for the moon to complete one full sequence of phases from new to full and back to new again. This rhythm is steady and predictable, unfolding in soft, gradual transitions that have guided calendars and traditions for thousands of years. Unlike the fast pace of a daily sunrise, the lunar cycle stretches across weeks, giving its changes a calm, unhurried quality. The moon never rushes from one phase to the next. It shifts slowly, allowing the world to adjust with ease. Over the course of a month, its light grows, softens, fades, and disappears before returning again in a gentle loop. This steady timing offers a sense of structure that feels older than human history. An ancient clock in the sky that ticks in peaceful silence, the thinnest crescent moon, the faint, delicate arc resembling a curved thread, exists for only a few quiet hours each month. This stage appears just after the new moon or just before it, when only the slightest edge of the lunar surface catches sunlight. The crescent hangs low near the horizon, glowing with a fragile softness that can vanish quickly into bright sky or incoming dusk. Its brief presence makes it one of the most elusive phases, seen only by those who look at the right moment. Because the sliver is so thin, it feels almost like a secret light, gently returning after total darkness or fading gracefully before beginning the cycle again. Its short-lived glow captures the moon's quiet beauty in its most delicate form, reminding us how subtle and gentle the lunar rhythm can be. Ancient caves around the world contain markings believed to record the phases of the moon, showing that early humans were watching and tracking its cycle long before written language developed. These simple lines, dots, and curves carved into stone reveal a deep curiosity about the slow rhythm of changing light in the sky. For people living thousands of years ago, the moon's steady pattern offered a sense of order in a world filled with uncertainty. The repeating crescents and full disks became a reliable guide for time, guiding hunts, gatherings, and rest. In the stillness of those caves, the markings feel almost like whispered conversations with the night sky, a quiet record of humans finding comfort in the gentle glow above them. Even now, these ancient symbols remind us that our connection to the moon began in silence, observation, and wonder. Many early civilizations used lunar calendars, basing their understanding of months and seasons on the moon's calm cycle. Each phase offered a marker that could be observed without tools, allowing communities to plan rituals, harvests, and gatherings in harmony with the sky. The waxing moon signaled growth and preparation, while the waning moon suggested closure and rest. These calendars created a rhythm that aligned daily life with a celestial pattern that felt steady and dependable. The moon became a soft, cosmic metronome, measuring time through gentle changes of light rather than mechanical precision. Even as solar calendars later became dominant, many cultures continued to honor lunar cycles for religious observances, celebrations, and traditions. The persistence of lunar timekeeping highlights the comfort people found in repeating phases that never rushed, never changed abruptly, and always returned in the same quiet sequence. Polynesian navigators used the moon, along with stars and ocean swells, to travel vast distances across the Pacific, With no maps or instruments, they read the sky as a living guide, noticing how the moon rose, where it set, and how its position shifted with each night. These gentle movements helped them judge direction, timing, and the presence of distant islands. The moon's glow also illuminated the waves, allowing sailors to read subtle changes in water patterns. This wayfinding tradition required deep attention and calm observation, turning the night sky into a quiet companion during long journeys. The moon offered both light and orientation, providing reassurance in the vast openness of the sea. Through generations, Polynesian navigators passed down this knowledge in soft, steady rhythms, each voyage echoing the moon's slow and dependable path. Long before mechanical clocks existed, the moon served as humanity's first reliable timekeeper. Its phases repeated with such steady precision that people could measure weeks, months, and seasons simply by watching the shape in the sky. The new moon marked beginnings. The full moon signaled the midpoint, and the return to darkness closed the cycle. These predictable transitions allowed early communities to organize events, track migrations, and plan harvests without written calendars. The moon became a natural clock that required no maintenance, nor resetting, and no tools, only patient observation. Its rhythm was gentle but dependable, guiding life in a slow, peaceful cadence. Even now, although modern devices measure time with perfect accuracy, the moon's ancient cycle still feels like the quieter, more human way to sense the passing of days. Across cultures, folklore has long connected the moon with sleep, weaving stories that link its soft glow to dreams, rest, and gentle protection through the night. Many tales describe the moon watching over travelers, calming restless animals, or guiding children into peaceful slumber. The quiet, shifting light seemed to carry soothing qualities that inspired myths about comfort and safety. In some traditions, the full moon was believed to bring clarity to dreams, while the waning moon encouraged reflection and inward stillness. These stories grew naturally from nightly experiences, seeing the world softened by moonlight, listening to calmer sounds, and feeling the night settle more gently under the moon's glow. Folklore preserved this emotional connection, passing it down through generations as a reminder that the moon's presence has long been a companion to rest. Moonlight provided essential guidance for ancient night hunters, offering enough illumination to move quietly while keeping shadows soft and gentle. Before artificial light existed, people relied on the moon to track animals, follow trails, and sense movement across open terrain. The cool, steady glow allowed hunters to read subtle shapes, footprints in dust, the curve of branches, or the quiet motion of prey without startling the environment. Full moon nights became natural opportunities to travel farther from home, while dimmer phases encouraged more cautious steps. The moon's slow, predictable rhythm-shaped patterns of activity, creating nights when the world felt open and clear. In this calm brightness, hunting became a quiet collaboration between human awareness and the soft guidance of the sky. Even today, standing in moonlight can evoke that ancient connection, reminding us how long people moved through darkness with only the moon as their companion. Moon festivals have appeared across nearly every continent, reflecting how deeply cultures connected to the moon's gentle rhythm. These celebrations often marked harvests, turning points in the year, or moments of reflection when communities gathered under the soft glow to honor change and renewal. In East Asia, bright lanterns and shared meals accompanied the full moon. In Africa, moonlit dances celebrated unity. In the Americas, ceremonies aligned with lunar phases shaped seasonal traditions. Despite vast distances, people around the world instinctively found meaning in the moon's cycle, treating each full moon as a quiet milestone. These festivals carried a calm sense of togetherness, inviting communities to pause, breathe, and acknowledge time passing in gentle tides. The moon became a symbol that connected distant cultures through a shared experience of light, shadow, and renewal. For centuries, people believed the moon influenced personality and temperament, seeing its phases as subtle signals that shaped human moods. The waxing moon was thought to encourage energy and outward expression, while the waning moon invited introspection and calm. Some early thinkers linked the full moon to heightened emotions, imagining that its bright, silent presence stirred something within the mind. These ideas grew naturally from living close to nature, where nights changed dramatically with the moon's shifting glow. Even without scientific explanation, the connection felt intuitive, a quiet alignment between the sky's rhythm and inner experience. Though modern understanding is different, the belief itself reveals how closely people observed the night and how much comfort they found in associating their emotions with the steady cycle overhead, giving the moon a gentle role in shaping the human spirit. Poetry across cultures often turns to the moon as a symbol of peace, using its soft light to evoke calm scenes and quiet emotions. Poets describe moonlit nights as moments when the world slows down, when thoughts settle, and when gentle reflection becomes easier. The cool glow softens landscapes, turning rivers into silver ribbons and hills into silent silhouettes. This transformation creates a natural sense of tranquility that writers capture in simple, soothing lines. By linking the moon to serenity, poetry helps readers feel the same stillness the poets experienced. The imagery becomes a bridge between the outside world and inner calm, allowing the moon's softness to settle into the mind. Through countless verses, the moon has remained a steady emblem of quiet comfort, carrying a sense of peace through centuries of written expression. The moon has long been seen as a symbol of hope and renewal, reflecting the way its light fades and returns in a predictable cycle. Each phase carries a message of gentle transformation. Darkness gives way to a thin crescent. The crescent grows fuller, and eventually the moon glows in complete brightness before slowly retreating again. This ongoing pattern reminded early people that change is natural, that endings lead to beginnings, and that life moves forward in steady, peaceful loops. The waxing moon suggested rising strength, while the waning moon encouraged release and rest. Over generations, this rhythm became a quiet metaphor for resilience, teaching that nothing remains lost forever. Even during the darkest phase, the promise of returning light remains. The moon's cycle, endlessly repeating, offers a calm reassurance that renewal is always on its way. Inside a spacesuit on the moon, the only sound an astronaut can hear is the quiet thump of their own heartbeat pulsing through their ears, because there is no air outside the suit. No vibration can travel, creating a silence so complete it feels almost unreal. Every movement, each step, each turn happens without the faintest echo. The suit isolates the astronaut from the world around them, turning their body's internal sounds into the only rhythm in an otherwise perfectly still environment. This makes the heartbeat feel louder, more present, moving in slow waves that seem to fill the empty space. The effect is calming rather than frightening, offering a deep sense of solitude. The moon becomes a place where the loudest thing is the life within you, beating softly in a world that has never known wind, rustling, or the smallest whisper of sound. Footprints on the moon remain for astonishing lengths of time because nothing exists to erase them, without wind to scatter dust, without rain to soften impressions, and without flowing water to reshape the surface. Every mark rests exactly where it was pressed. When astronauts stepped onto the lunar soil, their boots created crisp outlines that settled into silence and stayed still. These traces could last millions of years, looking as fresh far in the future as the moment they were formed. The moon holds these impressions gently, preserving each step in a landscape untouched by weather. It feels as if time slows down here, allowing memories to settle into the dust and stay quietly in place. The permanence of these footprints creates a sense of calm continuity, a reminder that even brief human presence can linger peacefully in a world that never wears away. Astronauts who walked on the moon often described its scent, something surprising on a world with no air. After climbing back into the lunar module and removing their helmets, they noticed the dust clinging to their suits released a distinctive smell inside the cabin. Many compared it to gunpowder, burnt charcoal, or hot metal. Scientists believe this comes from the dust reacting with oxygen for the first time after billions of years of exposure to space. The particles are sharp, reactive, and extremely dry, causing them to release a faint aroma once they finally meet air. This scent is subtle but unforgettable, becoming one of the few sensory impressions astronauts could actually experience. It adds a quiet human detail to an otherwise silent world, reminding us that even in the emptiness of space, unexpected sensations can arise from simple interactions between dust, oxygen, and memory. On the moon, shadows appear unusually sharp because there is no atmosphere to scatter light or soften edges. Sunlight arrives in a pure, direct beam, creating dark regions that look almost carved into the landscape. The boundary between light and shadow forms a crisp, knife-like line where brightness stops instantly. This clarity can make the surface appear both beautiful and slightly surreal, as if every ridge and rock has been outlined with delicate precision. The stillness of the environment enhances the effect, allowing shadows to sit motionless for long periods as the sun moves slowly overhead, without haze, dust clouds, or atmospheric glow. The moon's shadows hold their shape with quiet intensity. They seem to anchor objects firmly into the surface, creating a calm contrast between brilliant light and deep darkness in a world untouched by weather. Even when the sun hangs high above the lunar surface, the sky remains a perfect, unwavering black, with no atmosphere to scatter sunlight. Nothing fills the sky with blue or soft gradients. The sun appears bright and intense, but the space around it stays dark and empty, creating a contrast that feels serene and otherworldly. Astronauts describe this view as deeply quiet, with the brilliant surface beneath them and the infinite darkness above forming a peaceful, unchanging dome. This perpetual black sky makes the moon feel timeless, as if day and night blend into a single, sealed experience. Stars are visible when the glare of the sun does not overwhelm them, hanging motionless in the void. The stillness of this dark sky creates a sense of calm isolation, offering a reminder of the vast, peaceful space surrounding the moon. On the moon, gravity is only 1/6 as strong as on Earth, creating a gentle lightness that astronauts described as almost dreamlike. Every movement becomes easier, as if the body has quietly shed most of its weight. Lifting tools, climbing slopes, and even turning feels smooth and effortless, guided by a soft upward pull. The reduced gravity changes the rhythm of motion, allowing each step or jump to float slightly before settling back into the dust. This lightness brings a sense of calm detachment, as though the body is moving through a slow, silent world with no rush and no resistance. The heart and muscles work with surprising ease, and even the smallest motion carries a gentle buoyancy. In this softened environment, astronauts often felt as if their bodies were part of the stillness around them, carried by a world that asks only for slow, deliberate movement. Walking on the moon feels like moving underwater, with each step unfolding in slow, floating motions. Because gravity is so weak, the body rises higher and stays suspended longer before returning to the ground. The result is a gentle, hopping gait that makes every action feel extended and unhurried. Astronauts often describe their steps as slow arcs, drifting forward rather than striking the ground firmly. This soft rhythm gives the landscape a peaceful, dreamlike quality, as if the entire world encourages you to slow down. The dust beneath the feet rises and falls without sound, adding to the impression of walking through a silent liquid. Each gesture, from lifting a tool to turning the body, glides rather than snaps, creating a calm, almost meditative pace. Movement becomes a quiet conversation with gravity, shaped by lightness and stillness. Being so far from Earth creates a profound sense of absolute quiet, a stillness unlike anything experienced at home. From the lunar surface, Earth appears as a small, glowing sphere suspended in the black sky, distant and delicate, without wind, sound, or clouds. The world around an astronaut feels unmoving, as if time has slowed. The separation from Earth's busy atmosphere enhances the sense of isolation, replacing familiar noise with a steady, peaceful emptiness. This distance is not frightening but deeply calming, offering a perspective that softens thought and emotion. The moon becomes a place where nothing interrupts the quiet, not weather, not life, not movement beyond one's own breath. The view of Earth floating alone creates a gentle reminder of how small and connected everything is. Wrapped in a silence that feels ancient and comforting, sunlight falling on the moon resembles the clean, focused beam of a surgical lamp, bright, sharp, and without the glow we know on Earth. With no atmosphere to diffuse or scatter the rays, light arrives in a pure, unwavering stream. Surfaces appear starkly illuminated, while shadows remain crisp and deep. The brightness feels sterile, yet calm, revealing details with delicate clarity. Rocks, dust grains, and footprints become sharply defined, as if outlined by an artist's careful brush. The effect is not harsh, but precise, giving the landscape a still, clean quality. Because the light lacks warmth, it feels almost cool despite its intensity, creating a visual calmness unusual in such brightness. This pure illumination adds to the moon's quiet atmosphere, a world lit by a steady beam rather than a soft glow. The moon's lack of atmosphere allows astronauts to see much farther than on Earth, as there is no haze, dust, or moisture to blur the distance. Horizons appear crisp and sharply drawn, with every ridge, crater edge, and distant hill clearly visible. The clarity gives the landscape an almost unreal sense of openness, as if nothing stands between the eye and the distant terrain. Even small features remain distinct, resting in perfect stillness under the bright sunlight. This transparency creates a gentle feeling of spaciousness, offering long, uninterrupted views that seem to expand the mind. The emptiness of the sky above deepens the effect, revealing a boundaryless space where light travels cleanly and without distortion. The result is a calm, peaceful clarity that makes the moon feel both vast and intimately still. A world where sight carries deeper into the quiet. The far side of the moon looks strikingly different from the side we see from Earth, giving it a quiet, mysterious character all its own. While the near side has familiar dark plains and recognizable patterns, the far side feels rougher, older, and more heavily marked by time. Its landscape is dominated by thick, uneven highlands that rise in long, jagged stretches, untouched by the smoother features we know, because we never see this side from Earth. It carries an aura of distance, as if it belongs to another world entirely. The silence feels deeper there, the shadows older, the craters more crowded. Looking at images of the far side evokes a sense of wandering into untouched terrain, hidden, ancient, and peaceful in its isolation. It reminds us that even familiar celestial bodies hold unseen places, quietly maintaining secrets in the darkness beyond our view. Compared with the familiar face of the moon, the far side contains far fewer basalt seas and far more craters. The dark volcanic plains that give the near side its expressive patterns are rare on the far side, which instead is covered in rugged highlands pocked with countless impact marks. This unevenness suggests that the crust on the far side is thicker, resisting the flows of ancient lava that shaped the near side. As a result, the far side feels older and more heavily textured, like a page filled with quiet imprints from billions of years of cosmic impacts. The dense crater fields create a sense of deep time, reminding us how long the surface has rested undisturbed. Every crater, ridge, and shadowed hollow contributes to a peaceful but haunting landscape that has never been softened by erosion or wind. The far side experiences stronger tidal forces from Earth due to the moon's slightly uneven shape and internal structure. Over billions of years, these tidal interactions have subtly squeezed, stretched, and stabilized the moon's rotation, helping keep one face locked toward Earth. The far side, receiving more of this gravitational tug, developed a thicker crust, a quiet shield that prevented molten rock from rising to the surface during the moon's volcanic past. This created the stark difference in appearance between the two hemispheres. The gentle but persistent pull from Earth acted almost like a slow sculptor, shaping the far side into a more rigid, crater-filled region. Though invisible from our planet, this hidden surface has lived under the constant, silent influence of Earth's gravity, forming a world that reflects the deep, stable relationship between the two bodies. Because the moon itself blocks signals from Earth, the far side is notoriously difficult to reach with direct communication. Radio waves cannot pass through the lunar body, creating a natural shield between the far side and Earth's surface. Astronauts or rovers positioned there require special relay satellites orbiting the moon to maintain contact. This isolation contributes to the far side's quiet, making it one of the most peaceful and untouched environments in the solar system. With no radio noise from Earth interfering, the region feels as though it is wrapped in a deeper layer of stillness, a silence, not just of sound, but of signals. This separation gives the far side a gentle sense of distance, as though it lies hidden behind a curtain of stone, waiting patiently in uninterrupted calm. The far side of the moon is considered an ideal place for radio telescopes because it is naturally shielded from Earth's radio noise. The solid lunar body blocks interference from human technology, creating a pocket of pure, quiet space for listening to faint signals from the universe. In this untouched environment, a telescope could detect whispers of cosmic events that are otherwise drowned out by Earth's communications. The stillness of the lunar far side provides a breathtaking clarity, an unbroken silence, stretching across billions of years. Scientists imagine placing large arrays there to observe the early universe, distant stars, and deep cosmic background signals. The far side's quiet isolation turns it into a sanctuary for discovery, offering one of the calmest listening posts in the cosmos, where the universe speaks softly across an ancient, undisturbed landscape. Although we never see the far side of the moon from Earth, sunlight still falls across half of it at any given moment. The moon rotates slowly, keeping on a face towards Earth, but both sides experience day and night in a long, gentle cycle lasting about 29.5 days. When the near side is bright, with a full moon, the far side rests in deep shadow. When the near side is dark, the far side is quietly illuminated by the sun. This rhythm creates a peaceful balance, allowing light to drift slowly across craters, ridges, and plains that we do not witness directly. The far side's sunlight looks just as sharp and clean as on the near side, casting crisp shadows and revealing rugged terrain with calm clarity. Even though our eyes never watch it happen, the hidden half of the moon breathes in light and darkness with the same unhurried grace. The polar regions of the moon hold pockets of frozen water, protected in deep, shadowed craters where sunlight never reaches. Temperatures in these areas are so low that any water molecules drifting across the surface become trapped, freezing into tiny crystals that accumulate over billions of years. These deposits rest quietly, untouched by heat, wind, or melting. Scientists believe the ice came from ancient comets, solar wind interactions, or even volcanic outgassing long ago. The frozen patches lie hidden beneath layers of dust, preserved in stillness that has lasted for ages. Their presence adds a gentle sense of mystery, suggesting that even on a dry, airless world, traces of water can survive in perfect silence. These icy shadows may someday support exploration, but for now, they remain a delicate reminder of the moon's subtle ability to shelter ancient materials. Certain regions on the moon have never seen sunlight, not even for a moment in billions of years. These places lie deep inside polar craters, where steep walls block the sun's rays completely, never warmed, never illuminated. These shadowed floors sit in eternal night, colder than almost anywhere else in the solar system. Their darkness is not empty, but ancient, holding material unchanged since the moon's earliest days. Inside these hidden hollows, dust, ice, and minerals lie perfectly still, untouched by the gentle warming and cooling that affect the rest of the lunar surface. The lack of light creates a sense of frozen time, as if these craters safeguard fragments of history preserved in darkness. Walking there would feel like stepping into the memory of a world that formed quietly and never moved again. The far side of the moon is one of the quietest places in the solar system when it comes to radio signals. Because the solid body of the moon blocks transmissions from Earth, no artificial noise from satellites, radios, or human technology, reaches this hidden hemisphere. It exists in a calm, natural silence, not just in sound, but in electromagnetic space. This radio quietness allows the far side to become a perfect sanctuary for detecting faint cosmic signals, the gentle whispers of the universe that are drowned out near Earth. In this stillness, a radio receiver could listen to echoes from the early universe or distant stars without interruption. The far side's shielding is so complete that it creates a peaceful isolation unlike anywhere on Earth, offering a rare glimpse into how quiet the cosmos can truly be when untouched by human presence. Studying the moon's symmetry and the differences between its two sides gives scientists insight into the long history of impacts that shaped it. The near side and far side are not identical. One hosts wide basalt plains, while the other is thick with craters revealing how ancient collisions interacted with the moon's internal layers. By comparing the distribution of impacts, crater dips, and crust thickness, researchers can reconstruct events from billions of years ago. These quiet clues tell a story of heavy bombardment, shifting magmas, and slow cooling that unfolded long before Earth was calm enough to preserve similar records. The moon becomes a gentle archive of the solar system's early chaos, holding each impact like a page in a silent geological book. Its asymmetry is not an imperfection but a memory, revealing how time and collisions shaped a world that no longer changes. The moon helps keep Earth's axis steady, preventing the planet from wobbling wildly through space. Without this gentle, stabilizing presence, Earth's tilt could shift dramatically over long periods, causing seasons to swing between extremes. Instead, the moon's gravity acts like a calm hand resting on a spinning top, guiding Earth into a balanced, predictable rhythm. This stability allows climate patterns, ecosystems, and life cycles to unfold smoothly across millions of years. The moon does not force the axis into place. It simply steadies it, softening movements that would otherwise drift into chaos. Because of this quiet influence, sunrise, sunset, and the changing seasons happen in reliable, comforting patterns. Earth turns gently, held in a slow, steady alignment with the help of its silent companion moving through the night sky. If the moon did not exist, Earth's climate would be far more unstable, shifting in chaotic patterns over time. Without the moon's gravitational influence, the planet's tilt could wander, sometimes pointing Earth more toward the sun and sometimes away from it. These changes would reshape seasons dramatically, creating long eras of extreme heat followed by prolonged periods of cold. Life would struggle to adapt, and ecosystems might shift unpredictably. The moon prevents this by providing a quiet anchoring force, holding Earth's orientation within a comfortable range. This gentle stability allows weather systems, ocean currents, and ecological rhythms to continue with a calm consistency. Earth's relatively mild and predictable climate is not accidental. It is a reflection of the moon's presence, guiding the planet softly through cosmic time and giving life a steady environment in which to grow. The moon slowly reduces Earth's rotation speed, lengthening our days in subtle increments, too small to feel. This gentle braking effect happens through tidal interactions as the oceans rise and fall. Energy transfers from Earth's rotation to the moon's orbit. Over billions of years, this process has stretched a single day from just a few hours to the 24-hour rhythm we now know. The change continues today, adding fractions of a second to each century. Though nearly imperceptible, this quiet slowing contributes to the planet's sense of calm regularity. Without the moon, Earth would spin faster, winds would be stronger, and the transitions between day and night would feel more abrupt. Instead, the moon helps Earth rotate with a soft, steady cadence, giving our planet a peaceful tempo that shapes the daily lives of all living things. By influencing tides and rotation, the moon also reduces some of Earth's extreme wind and wave energy. Without the moon's gravitational pull creating regular tidal friction, Earth would spin faster, generating stronger atmospheric movements and more violent ocean conditions. The moon's presence softens these forces, helping waves follow gentle rhythms instead of chaotic surges. This stabilization creates calmer coastlines and more predictable weather patterns, allowing ecosystems to form around steady cycles rather than constant turbulence. The moon's quiet moderation acts like a natural regulator, easing the planet's energetic impulses. Though we rarely notice it directly, its influence allows Earth's winds and waters to settle into patterns that support life in delicate, reliable ways. The result is a world where calmness can take root, both in the oceans and in the atmosphere above. Many animals have sleep cycles influenced by the moon's phases, responding to changes in light that help regulate hormones connected to rest and activity. The soft glow of the moon can affect melatonin levels, guiding animals to adjust their behavior across the lunar month. Some species become more active during brighter nights, while others become calmer and more still. These shifts are gentle, yet meaningful, shaping patterns of feeding, migration, and reproduction. Even creatures far from moonlight, such as marine animals, follow rhythms tied to the lunar cycle through tides and subtle gravitational cues. The moon becomes part of the natural clockwork, guiding sleep and wakefulness across countless species. Its presence weaves a quiet influence through ecosystems, connecting the sky's slow changes to the inner rhythms of life on Earth. Many marine species synchronize their reproductive behavior with the phases of the moon, using its gentle cycle as a natural, dependable clock. Coral reefs, for example, release their eggs and sperm simultaneously during specific lunar phases, creating calm, underwater snowfalls that rely on perfect timing. Fish and crustaceans also use moonlight and tides as cues for gathering, mating, or protecting their young. The soft rise and fall of tidal rhythms provides conditions that are neither rushed nor inconsistent, giving life a predictable structure. Even animals deep in the ocean feel these subtle gravitational signals, allowing them to move in harmony with the moon's long, steady cycle. This quiet coordination has shaped marine ecosystems for millions of years. The moon becomes not just a distant light, but an ancient conductor guiding life through gentle patterns that repeat month after month, forming rhythms as peaceful as they are essential. The moon governs global tides with remarkable steadiness, ensuring that oceans follow predictable patterns around the world. Its gravitational pull lifts and lowers water in slow, consistent cycles that never miss a beat, creating a natural breath within Earth's coastlines. These tidal movements shape marine habitats, transport nutriments, carvashoreliness, and support countless forms of life. The rhythm is soft yet powerful, never sudden, never chaotic, offering a sense of continuity across days, months, and ages. Without the moon, tides would be smaller, weaker, and far less regular. The oceans would lose the gentle pulse that has shaped them since their earliest days. Instead, The moon keeps Earth's waters in motion, guiding them with a calm, dependable pull. This slow, planetary heartbeat forms one of the most essential connections between Earth and its quiet companion in the sky. Moonlight provides a soft environmental glow that has long supported the nighttime activities of animals and early humans. Its brightness is gentle enough not to overwhelm the senses, yet strong enough to illuminate paths, water surface, and prey movements. Many species rely on this faint glow to forage safely, avoid predators, or migrate through the landscape. For ancient humans, moonlit nights expanded the world, allowing travel, hunting, and gathering to continue beyond sunset. This subtle light creates a calm middle ground between day and complete darkness, shaping behaviors that require both caution and clarity. The moon's glow offers guidance without urgency, revealing just enough of the world to move through it with ease. Even today, moonlight can make a familiar place feel more open, quiet, and inviting a soft reminder of how long life has lived by its gentle illumination. Although the moon does not drive weather in dramatic ways, it influences Earth's atmosphere with a faint but steady touch. Its gravitational pull slightly affects air pressure and cloud formation, creating soft patterns that repeat with the lunar cycle. These effects are subtle, far too small to shape storms or seasons, but their consistency adds a quiet layer of stability to the planet's atmospheric rhythm. The moon's presence also moderates Earth's rotation, which indirectly influences wind speeds and long-term climate behavior. These gentle influences work together like small, steady breaths in the background of the weather system. They do not announce themselves or create dramatic shifts. Instead, they provide a calming baseline that helps Earth's atmosphere move with a smoother, more predictable cadence across years and generations. The moon's presence has played an essential role in sustaining life on Earth by stabilizing the planet's tilt, shaping tides, and moderating rotation, all quiet forces that create a balanced environment. Without the moon, Earth's seasons could swing wildly. Days would pass too quickly, and ocean ecosystems would lose the rhythmic tides that support life in countless ways. The moon's gentle gravitational guidance keeps Earth moving in a steady, life-friendly pattern. It helps maintain climates that remain relatively stable, oceans that flow in reliable cycles, and environmental rhythms that countless species depend on. Though its influence is soft, it reaches into nearly every ecosystem, connecting the night sky to the smallest details of life below. The moon becomes a quiet guardian, offering balance, consistency, and a sense of long-term calm that allows life to flourish. The moon is unusually large compared with the planet it orbits, making it one of the most oversized moons in the solar system relative to its host world. Most planets have moons that are tiny fragments or captured objects, but Earth's moon is big enough to influence our rotation, this, and long-term stability. Its size allows it to act like a quiet partner, balancing Earth in ways smaller moons could never do. Because of its remarkable mass, it exerts steady gravitational effects that shape everything from ocean rhythms to climatic cycles. This unusual proportion also makes the moon appear strikingly large in our sky, creating a sense of closeness that has inspired humans across all of history. Its presence feels both gentle and monumental, a reminder that even in the vastness of space, some relationships form with perfect balance, a planet and its moon moving in quiet harmony, each shaping the other over billions of years. The moon has helped keep Earth's system stable for billions of years, acting as a gentle anchor that prevents drastic changes in climate, rotation, and axial tilt. Its gravitational influence moderates Earth's behavior, smoothing out what might otherwise have been chaotic shifts across deep time. This steadiness allowed continents, oceans, and ecosystems to evolve under relatively predictable conditions, giving life the calm framework it needed to grow and diversify. Without the moon, Earth might have experienced dramatic swings in temperature or rapid rotation changes. But instead, it moves through cosmic time with a sense of quiet order. The moon's presence has been a silent guardian, offering stability not through force, but through balanced, consistent gravity. It becomes part of Earth's foundation, a companion that quietly shapes the planet's ability to support life. Moonlight has remained unchanged for billions of years, offering a soft, steady glow that feels both ancient and familiar. The moon reflects sunlight in a muted, gentle way, turning harsh brightness into a calm silver sheen. This reflected light has guided animals, travelers, and entire civilizations, creating a peaceful illumination that repeats without variation through each lunar cycle. The constancy of moonlight gives the night a quiet anchor, something that always returns in the same soft tone. Unlike artificial lights that flicker or fade, the moon's glow feels timeless, always cool, always muted, to always steady. It is a reminder of continuity, a living trace of the sun's warmth, softened by distance and dust. In this quiet brightness, generations have found comfort, seeing the same light their ancestors once followed across open fields, forests, and coastlines long before modern life existed. Among all objects in the night sky, the moon is the most familiar, appearing in predictable cycles that have accompanied humanity since its earliest days. Long before telescopes, cities, or written history, people looked up and saw its calm, shifting shape travel across the darkness. Its presence is so constant that it becomes part of our sense of place, a quiet landmark in the sky that reassures us with its return night after night. While stars drift imperceptibly over centuries and planets move in slower patterns, the moon rises and sets with a comforting rhythm. Its phases provide small changes that draw the eye gently without ever disrupting the mind. This familiarity makes the moon feel like an old companion, one that has watched over every generation and reflected the same soft light onto countless landscapes through time. The moon stands at the crossroads between science and memory, connecting our understanding of the cosmos with the emotional history humanity holds when looking upward. Scientifically, it offers insight into planetary formation, tides, geology, and celestial mechanics. Yet, it is also woven into stories, myths, poems, and childhood moments of wonder. People across cultures have tied their memories to its glow, quiet nights, shared gazes, moments of reflection. The moon bridges logic and feeling, allowing us to think about orbital dynamics and ancient impacts, while also recalling comfort, calmness, and the gentle experience of watching it rise. It holds both worlds at once, the precise language of astronomy and the softer language of human experience. In this duality, the moon becomes a gentle anchor for the mind and heart, linking scientific curiosity with timeless personal memory. The moon never drifts too close or too far from Earth, staying within a safe, steady range that changes only in the smallest increments over immense spans of time. Although it slowly moves outward at just a few centimeters per year, the shift is so gentle that it remains virtually unnoticeable across human lifetimes. This slow, outward drift is balanced by gravitational interactions that keep the moon locked in a long, stable orbit. It never threatens to collide with Earth, nor does it risk slipping away suddenly into the depths of space. Instead, it circles the planet in a calm, predictable rhythm that has remained secure for billions of years. This stability shapes tides, seasons, and countless forms of life, offering a quiet reassurance that the moon's path will continue in the same steady pattern far into the future. Its orbit becomes a symbol of cosmic balance, a reminder that even in the vastness of space, some motions remain gentle, reliable, and comforting. Tidal locking gives the moon its unchanging face, creating a sense of constancy that feels almost timeless. Because the moon rotates at the same rate it orbits Earth, one hemisphere always faces us, becoming a familiar presence that never shifts unexpectedly. This steady alignment prevents abrupt changes in appearance, offering a calm visual anchor in the night sky. The same craters, plains, and patterns return each month, reminding us of a world that moves but never surprises. This constancy has shaped human perception across ages, turning the moon into a symbol of reliability in an ever-changing world. The locking process occurred slowly over millions of years and continues to hold the moon gently in place, guided by the balance of gravitational forces. The result is a celestial companion whose stillness feels intentional, soothing, and deeply grounding, an object that keeps its quiet promise to remain the same night after night. The moon moves through space in complete silence, gliding along its orbital path without producing any sound. In the vacuum surrounding it, vibrations cannot travel, so even massive forces, tidal interactions, impacts long ago, or subtle gravitational shifts unfold without noise. Its motion is smooth and continuous, guided by a balance of celestial forces that operate with quiet precision. Watching the moon rise or drift across the sky reveals this calm movement, a gentle arc completed without hurry or pause. Its journey around Earth takes place in perfect stillness, untouched by turbulence or wind. This silent motion reinforces the moon's peaceful presence, making it feel like a lantern carried slowly through a dark, soundless room. Its orbit becomes a soft, steady curve traced again and again across the heavens, reminding us that not all motion requires noise. Some of the universe's most enduring rhythms unfold in absolute quiet. The moon's cycle provides a natural framework that organizes life on Earth, shaping behaviors, rhythms, and patterns across ecosystems. Tides rise and fall in harmony with its orbit, guiding coastal species, transporting nutrients, and influencing migrations. Birds, fish, insects, and mammals sense subtle shifts in brightness, gravity, and timing, adjusting their activities to match the lunar rhythm. Even plants respond to the cycle, opening and closing according to its light. For humans, the moon has structured time for thousands of years, forming the basis of calendars, rituals, and cultural rhythms. Its phases offer a gentle, repeating pattern: darkness to light, light to darkness, that becomes a quiet clock for the natural world. This cycle doesn't rush or force, it simply unfolds, creating a dependable heartbeat that life has learned to follow. The moon becomes an invisible conductor, guiding Earth's rhythms with a soft, steady pulse that has never faltered. The moon acts like a soft nightlight for the entire planet, casting a calm, silver glow that eases darkness without overwhelming it. Its light is gentle, bright enough to guide movement, yet muted enough to preserve the quiet of night. This glow softens landscapes, turning mountains, water, and forests into serene silhouettes. For countless generations, moonlight has offered comfort, making the world feel safer and more open after sunset. Animals use it to navigate. Humans have used it to travel, rest, reflect, and dream. The moon's glow creates a sense of shared nighttime, connecting people across continents under the same faint illumination. In a world filled with artificial brightness, moonlight remains soothing and natural, untouched by urgency or noise. It is a constant companion that has watched over every era, providing a peaceful, familiar light that turns even the darkest nights into something gentle. As we reach the end of this quiet journey, let the moon settle softly in your mind, just as it has settled into the sky for billions of years. Every fact you've drifted through has been a small doorway into a deeper stillness, a reminder that even in a universe filled with motion and noise, there exists a place shaped entirely by calm. The moon has moved through its long orbit without a sound, without a rush, without ever breaking its gentle rhythm, and by listening to its story, you've stepped into that rhythm too. Think of the lunar surface now, resting under a sky that never turns blue, never brightens, never softens into sunrise colors. A sky that stays perfectly black, even when the sun is shining directly overhead. On that silent ground, shadows sit unchanged. Footprints lie perfectly still, and dust clings gently to anything it touches. Everything is patient there. Everything is slow. Everything is unhurried. You don't need to do anything to join that stillness. Just breathe. The moon has a way of inviting calm without asking for it, simply by existing. And think of the soft glow you see from Earth, the quiet silver light that spills across oceans, rooftops, fields, forests. That glow has never hurried. It has never tried to be more than it is. It simply arrives again and again, in a rhythm older than every story humanity has told for thousands of years. That gentle light guided early travelers across plains, inspired myths whispered beside fires, marked the passing of seasons, and gave shape to calendars long before clocks existed. The moon has always been there, comforting in its repetition, steady in its presence, to familiar even to people who lived in a world utterly different from ours. If you let yourself feel it, you might sense the same stillness settling around you now, the soft weight of quiet, the feeling of a world slowing down, the gentle awareness that everything outside this moment can wait. The moon teaches that nothing in nature rushes endlessly. Even light grows and fades. Even tides rise and fall. Even shadows lengthen and soften. Its cycles are a reminder that slowing down is part of the design of the cosmos, not an interruption of it. Let your breath follow that pattern. A rise, a pause, a fall. The way ocean water lifts and settles, the way moonlight brightens and fades, the way the moon itself moves gradually across the sky, never forcing its presence, never demanding attention, just being there, steady and quiet, day after day, age after age, and think for a moment about how many generations have looked up at exactly the same shape you see, from ancient cave artists carving lunar symbols into stone, to sailors reading the ocean by its glow, to children pressing their faces to windows on clear nights. Every one of them paused for at least a moment, letting the moon offer a bit of calm. You're part of that long line now, connected across time by the simplest act of looking up and feeling a little quieter inside. As this journey winds down, imagine the moon resting above you like a lantern hung in the darkness. Not bright enough to wake you, just soft enough to guide your mind into slower thoughts. Imagine its light spreading gently across your shoulders, its stillness settling into your breath, its calm wrapping around your thoughts until they begin drifting toward rest. There is nothing left to do, nothing you need to hold on to. The moon has carried the world through countless cycles, and it carries this moment too, smoothing its edges, slowing its pace. Let your body feel heavy in the best possible way. Let your thoughts move like soft shadows across a quiet landscape. Let yourself drift the way lunar dust drifts light. Slow, effortless, and as you settle deeper into rest. Remember this: the moon has been a companion to life on Earth for longer than memory. A silent guide, a gentle anchor, a patient witness. And even now, as your eyes grow heavy, it remains in the sky, turning slowly, faithfully, peacefully, offering the same calm it has offered since the beginning. Let that calm carry you the rest of the way. Sleep well,